WSP was contacted by two men. They gave me some information into a murder case, wanting me to try to find out the truth about what happened and to get evidence on whomever committed the robbery, but beating their brother. I accepted on behalf of WSP. A friend of mine was a detective and shall remain nameless, helped on this investigation. He also helped on the paranormal investigation the first time. On the second investigation, another friend went with me to communicate with spirits. Would the paranormal investigation get answers? Would they correspond with the investigation the detective and I did? I worked these cases with a vengeance because the victim was a dear friend of the family and the community. Here is the WSP investigation of Eddie Brown robbery and murder. An unknown assailant or assailants had beaten and robbed 72-year-old Dewey Edward Brown. His unconscious body was discovered next to the station by a postal delivery person. His job at Sunoco was his livelihood, and he loved it. The people in the local area meant the world to him. He always had a smile on his face, and he loved everyone. Eddie succumbed to his wounds 29 days later at Raleigh General Hospital in Beckley, West Virginia. A friend and I went through the community trying to find the answers to the questions we had. We wanted the truth of what happened to Eddie. We got a lot of answers. We also found two witnesses that were afraid to speak to the law, but later both were convinced and called in for statements. The alleged persons of interest had reportedly been threatening people if anyone talked to the law. Several of the persons of interest had been in trouble with the law before. I stopped at the station twice to do EVP sessions and to take pictures, hoping that I could get the answers from Eddie's spirit. I always took a friend with me on each trip. I grew up in the area and I was never scared to go anywhere there alone. Now, though, things are different. A beautiful, sweet man had been murdered. I had already been warned by several that if the alleged people that I was looking into found out, I would probably end up like a few others, dead. I refused to give in to idle threats. Someone had to stand up and fight for justice. I went to Eddie's grave as well several times. I'd always promised him that I would bring the people responsible for his death to justice, no matter how long it took. That I would never forget the man he was, gentle, caring, and a great friend to all. I would never forget the pop and candy he would give us kids when he knew we didn't have much money. He loved kids, and he treated all as if we were his own grandkids. Here is our exclusive WSP investigation. Here are a few newspaper articles that I have of Eddie's. There were plenty more in the paper. The last one is of Eddie's death picture that was in the newspaper for when he died. This is the flyer that I had made up for Eddie Brown. I passed these out all through Raleigh and Fayette counties. I took them through Beckley, Oak Hill, Mount Hope, down through Page, and down through Kincaid, and I posted them everywhere, and all the store owners were very happy to help to put them out. In this picture, if you start on the left-hand side, you're going to see a man. And then if you go towards the middle right, you're going to see an old man there at the gas pump. And I think that's Eddie looking around to pump gas for somebody. If you look on the bottom, you're going to see three men faces. In this picture, on the left-hand side, you're going to see an image of a woman with short curly hair. I have a feeling that is his little sister that died when she was young. If you look to the right, you're going to see a young man. He's got a cap on his head. He's got his face covered up. And he's walking like out of the building. In this picture, on the left-hand side, if you look, you're going to see a face. And then if you look in the middle, you're going to see a spirit that is forming. I can't tell who it is or anything, but they are trying to let me see them. If you look on further to the right, you're going to see another man's face, and it looks like it's bleeding, like where his forehead would be. Or in this picture, you're going to see two faces on the top of the building there, and you're going to see another face and a spirit forming behind me as I'm standing there. 5 in this picture, on the top, you're going to see a man's face. At the bottom, you're going to see a woman's face. And it's like she's just sitting there or laying there. Then on the bottom, you're going to see a man laying there. And it's like he has a cloth over half of his head. I can see his eyes, I can see his nose, but you can see a cloth laying on the side of his head. And I don't know if that is Eddie or who it is. And if you look on to the right, you're going to see an old man, and he's just sitting right there. He's got part of his face covered up, but I know that it's an old man. In this picture on the left, you're going to see a boy hiding. It's like he's hunkering down up there so he won't be seen. Towards the middle, you're going to see another boy. At the back on the top, you're going to see yet another boy. And I can see his eyes, his nose, his face. And you can see on the bottom a boy. And it's like he's walking straight towards the camera. In this picture, you're going to see an old man that is extremely bloody everywhere. And if you look towards the right, you're going to see a man standing there like he's propped up against the wall, and he has a baseball cap on, and he's got a face covering on. In this picture, starting on the left, you're going to see a guy, and he's got a cap and a face covering on. And it's like he's trying to sneak through there. And up in the middle, you're going to see another man. He's a bigger man. He's got a beard and a mustache. And over on towards the right, you're going to see another man standing there. In this picture, starting at the left, you're going to see a man standing there. And if you go on further towards the right, you're going to see two men standing there. And then you'll see another man standing there. But this one looks like an older guy. And if you look to the right, there's another man. And then down below, on towards the bottom, you're going to see another man. In this picture, you can see a man, a woman, and another man. When I did the investigation, I asked Eddie to show me people that were involved in this robbery and in his murder. I also asked him to show me if there was anyone with him as far as people in the community that had passed on, his family that had passed on. So I think that's why we're seeing all these different people. In this picture on the top, you're going to see a face emerging. I really can't tell who it is, but it looks like a young guy. Down on the bottom, you're going to see a man, and he's holding something. I'm not exactly sure what he's holding on to there. Up above that, you're going to see my friend walking away from the building, but you're going to see a face watching him. And towards the very right, you're going to see a young girl. As I said, I do believe the young girl is one of Eddie's family members that passed away. In this picture, on the left, the first person you're going to see is a man running, and he's running out of the building. The second is another man's face. Then you're going to see two faces and bodies, but I can't make out their faces or with the way that they're turned. And on the bottom right, you're going to see a man's face. Now this man looks to be about 24, 25 age range. In this picture, on the left, you're going to see the circled image of a man's face. And then right beside of that, you're going to see another male. In this picture on the bottom, you can see two spirits that are trying to form. In this picture, you can see four guys as they're trying to hide. And it looks like they're in the garage and they're hiding out just to make sure everything is quiet. In this picture, on the left, you're going to see a man's face. Down below that, you will see yet another man's face. And it looks like he's got a cap on. He's got his face covered. And towards the right, you're going to see several more faces. And I can see faces all through this picture. I think at this point, Eddie had just seen a whole bunch of people. In this picture, you're going to see the faces of three different men. In this picture, you can see three different men that's in this picture. and that one face looks really familiar. In this picture you can see a spirit there as it's coming through, and it looks like they're waving. This could be or it could not be Yeti, either way, but it is definitely a spirit and standing there. Picture 20. In this picture, if you look up above the building over there, you're going to see two men, and they both look to be like, one looks like he may be burnt, and the other is an older man with white hair. In this picture, at the very back of this picture, you can see a man walking around. In this picture, you're going to see three younger men. That's all probably anywhere from 22 to 30 age range in the background. Here are some pictures to show how Eddie lived his life. He would walk from his home down the roadway, sometimes on the main road to go to his work. Sometimes he would walk the railroad tracks to his work. Either way, he still got to the Sunoco station, where he would be with the people that he absolutely loved, the people in his community, the people that he always was there for. And you can see all around the Sunoco, you can see the side, the inside, you can see all the back, and the gas pumps, which are all now just old and decrepit, until his final day, when you see Eddie, and you see his grave marker, and you will also see his marker where he is with his family. God bless you, Eddie. Rest in peace. After an investigation into Eddie's death, I went straight to the state police with the findings. I had the autopsy reports and copies of every single file that there is on Eddie. His brother, Glenn, and Howard gave me full permission to go through everything, and I was determined. Why wasn't one of the people that was on the person of interest sheet never contacted, never even questioned? Eddie's flashlight had reportedly been found on the property, and 2 local witnesses were said to have found it. The people that found it were visiting family in the community. They didn't live there. That day it was freezing outside, and Eddie fell on the frozen ground. Eddie always carried 2 flashlights, and although he dropped one, he carried the other one with him. Several witnesses saw him walking the roadway to work that day. They never saw any blood on him. One even asked if he needed a ride. Eddie refused. He said he would rather walk it today. Another person saw him as he was getting ready to enter the station door. Saw him with his keys out and at the door when they passed by. Again, Eddie was fine at this point. Eddie always opened the station early so he could warm the place up, so when the children came to catch the bus, they would have a warm place to wait on the bus. He loved children. Eddie was robbed of his money, but only one pocket of it. The robber-killer never touched the other pockets, where he kept the rest of the cash for the day of business. The opinion of the assistant medical examiner was that 72-year-old Eddie died of craniocerebral injuries from blunt force trauma. In consideration of the circumstances surrounding death and autopsy findings, the manner of death is considered as homicide. I want to say a special thank you to Glenn and Howard Brown for their trust and confidence in me. I also want to thank the detective I worked in partnership with and my friend for helping me on the paranormal part of the investigation. I pray the vicious, brutal killers are arrested soon and justice be served. The Brown family needs the peace.
We all live just to die, laugh and cry another day, and that's okay, and the time